I'm not even thirsty.
Like, wait, how much you got left in there?
A lot. Look.
You drank a lot of
I don't need help.
I'm surprised you ain't thirsty.
All right, so I'm gonna start with, cause like so we go. Welcome to the Straight Water Podcast.
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
Sure.
No, I'm visualizing it.
My name is.
What? My name is
Carrie.
My name is Ricka ATD.
We can tell you.
Just come out of nowhere. It's just left field.
We found your Kobe back in this.
You just gonna let them talk to me like this?
We got,
Listen again.
we got like a.
Whatever.
So when we get like our mugs and shit, and then we can get the button right, we put it on the coffee table. Put the button in the middle.
Nah, nigga.
You know,
Y'all
talk
are
about
disrespectful.
Wow.
He said the big
button. Yeah, the biggest booty. Said that was garbage. And if you get 3 buttons, you don't make it to season 2.
Whatever.
That's fair game. That's fair game, bro.
No.
Like shit.
No.
If I get 3 buttons, I'm out. It's like shit.
Then I will purposely get you out just off anything. All y'all will be done.
Well, we gotta let the fans validate it. That you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, somebody should open their phone, look at the live at the same time, so we can shout out the. Oh, what am I talking about? We don't even have it.
I just realized we can shout out the fans. Say hi, mom. Say what's up. Say hey, AP.
What's good, Dwayne?
What's up, Dwayne?
How you doing? Do we have work tomorrow?
Say shout out to Wayne.
He's just like, you know, man. He already writes it down. I see your man make me so proud. So, bro, what you think about
that? We comment and then we shout out ourselves, bro.
You know,
Like,
fake club.
This Joshua kid has a lot to say. Let's hear him out.
Said, guys, bro, this is the best dream ever. I fucking.
That's awkward. That's not awkward. It's not that funny, but it's
Said,
Oh, wow.
I mean, how many more seconds do we have? 16?
Welcome y'all to the Straight Water Podcast. My name is ATD, otherwise known as Antonio the Don.
what's up? I'm Jay 3 times. Yes, sir. Okay.
I'm JAD P. That's me.
I'm Rambo.
And it's your boy, the king himself, a day.
I bet.
Okay. First episode.
This shit
into
exciting,
it.
my nigga.
Hey,
This shit nice.
For
Like,
real.
so we finally made it. Exactly.
Hype.
This shit nice.
It's been a long time coming. Not for music.
Shit.
Okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have like moments in life that you know are gonna be defining for like your future, but do you recognize them in the moment? Like, do you experience life and you're like, oh shit, like this is gonna change
define me. This is gonna change my life
for
completely.
the rest of my life. Like, do you like? I feel like later in life you're like, oh, that was a defining moment. But do you ever live a moment and you're like, this is gonna define? Yeah. Like, do you realize? Does that make sense?
No, I get it.
I understand. Where did the question come? Like, where did it? Like,
Because spring break. So that's my thing. Like, genuinely wanting to know how y'all spring break was. But I feel like this last week I had one of those moments where I was like, this is defining for the rest of my life. Like, I feel different after this.
Can I start?
Go for it, man. That's interesting.
I kind of feel like I constantly think about that. Like I always think about like you know what I mean? Like, I'm in college, and every day I wake up, I'm working towards something that's gonna better me for my future. And then like the habits that I build and the habits that I try to break down are like things that I also think about as well. You know, if that makes sense.
What habits?
I don't
Like,
know.
are those
It's
like defining moments?
I think
or
like
just
I don't know.
you feel me?
Defining moments. Yeah, that's a good question.
Because like I wake up and brush my teeth every morning. That's not like a
Defining.
that's
moment.
not a defining moment.
Yeah, I'm
for me.
finna
That's
be
just
the
I feel like
best
it's
person in the
constant though. Like I'm always thinking about my future. You feel me? Like I don't know. I don't think there's any specific moment that I don't know. Not me.
I think, like, for me personally, it's like I don't notice it unless like you're going into it and you're like you're thinking this is going to be a defining moment, but you're not in the moment thinking, oh yeah, like this is, unless like you're thinking about it consciously, like, you know, you're constantly thinking about it. But I feel like for me it's like right after, if not like way after, but like usually it's like right after that I'm thinking, oh yeah, that was something I'm going to remember for like the rest of time. But like in the moment, unless it's like, say like I'm at like a concert, or like say like in the future you're like during a wedding, you're like, oh yeah, this is one of my defining moments. But also that's like, you know that this is going to be like before you go into it. But I think that like it's something that happens like right after, because if it's like a defining moment, you're not really thinking about it, you're thinking about the moment. But that's me.
So the first night I thought of when you said that, I was like, is this intro episode or whatever, right? Intro episode or whatever, right? So is this a defining moment? You feel me? Like this right here, us being in this space, getting like, you know, help from the AHRR Network to playing. Like, but like, is this like us being in this space, doing this right now? Do we see this as a defining moment, or do we see this as just something that we're gonna do for the next like till summer type shit?
Right.
Or is it something that we're gonna be like, this is a defining moment? We like, you know, and what characterizes a defining moment?
Yeah.
Like that's what I thought about.
I think that's a good question. I think a true defining moment isn't defined until the results of that moment occur, if that makes any sense. Until you go through, until of course it happens and you go through what you need to come to where you want to be, or some level of success that you're at, you're not gonna realize it was that defining of a moment. I think you can overthink it and call anything a defining moment, like we talked about earlier. Like me brushing my teeth right now, I'm always gonna remember this. And the same way that I did it, I'm always gonna remember that too. And that's what defined me. It's weird as hell. It's weird as hell, but I mean it can be. Like we can make the drive up here be a defining moment. Literally anything can be a defining moment if you stick to it.
Cause it's like, I'm about to talk about something.
Go ahead.
But like the drive up here, is that the defining moment? Besides, like, instead of like this being the defining moment, is the drive up here, is all of our drives up here that defining moment? You feel me?
I feel
The
like
fact that
our
we got
drive
here
back
type shit.
was when we drove back to Fort Collins and we had that long conversation.
It was kind of like,
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but I was still thinking like,
Yeah.
like it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had a really deep conversation. I was like, yeah.
It's like right after.
Okay, so my thing that I'm thinking about, so we went on the same spring break trip, and we toured a lot of museums. It was a civil rights trip, learning about Black history in the United States and outside of, and for me, I think it was like Thursday or something, we were in the Legacy Museum in Alabama, and I was walking through reading all of these stories of people who were living during a really, really tragic era of time that has evolved into what we see as like modern day lynchings and all that kind of stuff. And as I was reading these stories, bawling my eyes out, literally like trying to find comfort in a public space, I was like, this is changing me right now. Like I was reading these stories and I was like, I feel myself. Jordan said it. She was like, I'm shedding skin. Like I felt myself outgrowing people and ideas and just things that.
That's real.
Yeah, like,
That's real.
and I feel like what y'all are saying is true. like you kind of, like today, we don't know if this is going to be a defining moment until we're successful, if we get there. But like, I feel like there's also moments where you're living through it and it's like, oh shit, like I'm changed. Like I can feel it happening. You know what I mean? That's where my question was coming from. But I'm curious, like, what'd y'all do for break?
Before we get there.
Okay.
So what I'm about to say about to be stupid. No cap. So it's about to be dumb.
Alright.
Is where we sat.
What's new?
So we all walked in today, right? For context, we all walked in today and we all picked a seat, just like straight up. Is where we sat a defining moment. Hear me out. So like, are we going to? Yeah, bro. Because it's like, am I always?
Yes.
Am I always going to see? Is this my spot next to the fish tank? If I move over there, people gonna be like, no. Is where we sat a defining. Like that's like small shit though.
Yeah.
It's small shit like that defining moment.
But is that seat symbolic to how you go about life? No, right? The seats that we just sat right now could represent the ways in which that we go about life. For example, right? This seat that I have all by myself, this comfortable seat, right? This could define the way in which that I go about life in a solo dolo attitude, but in a way that is comfortable. Wait. But the seat in which that you chose, for example, right, JAD P, right? The seat that you chose is one that is front and center in front of people that makes them keep you on their mind. Could that be a next to? I'm getting to him. Wait, hold on. I'm getting everybody. Damn, like wait your turn.
My bad.
Stay for last.
My fault.
But the seat that you chose was a defining. I don't even want to go on anymore.
No, please. No, you're on the great. Yeah, but you're on a roll.
See,
So, like,
solo dolo, he all by himself.
You feel me? And
It's crazy. No one to support you, bro.
Say he would have had my back. I don't know. He would have supported me.
Anyways, like I said, her seat is defining because she's in the middle, front and center. But the way that she goes about it in such a cheery way, it defines her. You know. Whereas Rambo, he's sitting in same said seat. I almost fucked that up. In same said seat, right? But he's just chill with it, and he's just observing the way that life goes. You understand where I'm going with this?
Right.
Not really.
No. Said not at all, actually.
In the seat in
And
which
that's
you
why
chose.
y'all are over there.
Exactly. The seat in
Did
which
you
you
get
chose
that?
was
For people that are
Miss me, no way.
people that are just side
No way.
characters to it. You feel me? You feel.
You said Hey, like that one, yeah.
This is how I see it.
Don't do too much. Don't do too much. First episode.
No.
No, this is how I see it, right? I see it as a personality type of thing, right? So, me and Josh, we're usually on the same...
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
All right.
For real. No, that's good.
I mean, I guess you can see it like that, but look, we're always on the same, like we're on the same attitude.
side.
Pretty much, yeah.
Them two, they just had a whole like
Bonding
week together,
trip.
right?
Yeah. And you are by yourself over on that side, looking left and right with nobody around. That's sad. I'm sorry. Let's go.
Still very jiggy. Still very
feel me?
jiggy.
It's like,
We are all very
all
jiggy.
this
We all look very jiggy. I'm feeling jiggy.
How was
Yeah,
your break?
feeling jiggy.
Feeling jiggy? You feeling
I
jiggy?
don't get the lingo.
Shouldn't have to explain. What
Yeah, nah, it's just jiggy.
You
ain't
understood.
jiggy.
I'm gonna do something that you do. The girls that get it, get it. The girls that don't.
The girls that girl, and the girls that gorn.
What?
No, we didn't.
That's
Alright.
the thing.
Who you want?
If you're
So
gonna
right,
do
so
it right.
so how was like y'all spring break? Because y'all went on the Atlanta trip, right?
Yeah,
So
we did.
and we want to hear like more about that, of course. But like, what
Y'all
y'all
wanna
do?
go
What
first or
y'all
something?
do?
Damn, I mean,
Mustard
shit,
and ketchup
like, it sounds
and
like
pepper.
So for me, I was pretty productive actually. For one, I saw this is not a good story, but I saw like abuse happen at the movie theater, and while after watching the Batman, and it wasn't like it's pretty bad, but it was it was pretty bad.
Alright, so
You have to
give us the
explain
lead.
that.
Yeah,
explain the gang.
Yeah, I got you. So like
Contextualize
after
it.
watching the Batman, right? I walked out, went to go use the restroom like a normal human being, right? And then all of a sudden, this white girl, she just runs in, just crying into the men's restroom, and I'm just like, what? What's going on? She's like, oh my god, somebody help me, somebody help me, blah, blah, blah. Right? I'm just like, whoa, like, what's it? I was about to be like, ma'am, are you okay? But there's like the movie theater people are just like, ma'am, you can't go in there. Come on, let me help you, right? I was about to say this, right? She walks out, and I'm just like, yo, what's going on? I walk out, she's just crying to this woman, just like, he scares me, he hit me, this one and the third, right? And that's not even the worst part, right? So she's saying that. I'm thinking, yo, this is a serious situation. They call the cops, and the cops roll in, right? Not CSUPD, Fort Collins PD rolls in and starts talking to her, right? And they're just going off on this tangent, right? So I'm thinking, damn, this white man is crazy. It wasn't a white man that walked out, bro. It was this. No, it's not even the worst part. This black dude walks out of the side of the movie theater, right? And he's just like, man, she's just crazy type ish, right? And he's just like, what does he say? He says a whole bunch of stuff, right? There's a woman. Apparently, she pepper sprayed the whole area. Didn't hit him, but hit people around him. So you have this little girl.
Pepper spray hurt too.
Pepper spray hurt. So you have this girl just crying, just like. Just walking to get some water on her eyes, something like that. She's just in distraught, but this man is just fine. He's just okay, just walking out, right? So he walks to the PD. I'm thinking this man is abusive, right? He's like, she's been tripping all day. We've been having issues. I don't know what's wrong. Like she's mentally unstable type ish, right? Because it turns out that he wasn't the one doing the abuse. She was the one that was abusing him. Which I'm just like, oh my god, crazy.
So this plot
That's
was
interesting.
That's fucked up.
No, it was really messed up because I was really about to help a girl out at first, right? I was like, man, what's wrong, right? Thinking that she's okay and she's going on with the story in tangent. I'm overhearing because I'm nosy, but I'm overhearing, right? As fuck. I'm just overhearing and be like, damn, this man's abusive. You did that type shit? And he's explaining to the cop just word detail to detail. She's been tripping since the morning. She hit me, she abused me, this, that, and the third. But her friends are just been fine with it, just letting it happen. So I didn't even understand what's going on. So I'm just like, damn. And it's the stereotypical just black man with white woman type shit. So I'm just like, dang, those tears powerful because they had me in a loop. That's great. Had me in a loop.
Everything relates to our trip now.
Literally.
Got me.
Yeah, it got me in the first half. No
So this
cap.
was after the movie?
After the straight after the movie. I enjoyed that movie. Everything destroyed. Got secondhand entertainment though. It was really good. To learn from. Yeah, to learn from. Because then I was just like, dang.
We gonna get canceled before we said this one was the live one, bro.
What'd you do for spring?
So what I did, so I went back home. I saw my family. I did Uber a lot. Fuck Uber, no cap. Like Uber is cool. Whatever. I made money or whatever.
Nothing.
Why didn't you do DoorDash?
Because fuck DoorDash even more, bro. DoorDash
Nah,
is
for real,
so
bro.
whack, bro. DoorDash, I can't stand.
We're gonna
DoorDash,
talk
bro.
about. I hate
Like their whole like system is fucking stupid, but I don't get into it.
This is the sponsor. We're not
No, sorry, DoorDash.
Said, and DoorDash pays us. I love DoorDash. I DoorDash every day. Nah, fuck DoorDash. Nah, fuck DoorDash. But Uber, I did Uber Eats basically. You know, like shit, made money and shit. It was like. It was wild. So something that I did see, this kind of will wrap back into what you guys were talking about too, but I saw a lot of like examples of like gentrification. For real. That shit was wild. I went to like Denver or whatever, and then on my like this is probably gonna be the last thing I talk about because it wasn't really like happening with Uber. But I rode up to this house or whatever, right? That orders food. And to my left and to the left and to the right of the house, it was like big ass, new ass house. You could tell white people live there, sorry. But we could tell that white people live there, whatever, right? And in the middle, it was just like the OG house that was there, like brick house. You could tell that like it was just like it was the OG house that's supposed to be there, or whatever, right? And it was like the last house. Like all the other houses around it were either getting torn down or were getting ready to, or were already like them big ass houses. And you could just tell that like that the people that were living there were like the people that was holding out. And I was like, damn. That was kind of sad. That was sad. Now I thought to myself, I gotta go pick up.
It's spreading quick too. It's bad. It's bad.
Sad.
It's really sad.
Your turn. Make sure it's happy, bro. Come on.
So mine was a little, it was a little chill. I just stayed with family. My parents decided to go to Hawaii.
Without y'all.
Yeah, without us. Yeah, without us.
Said, fuck these kids.
Yeah, basically. But it was also my mom's birthday, so she got to like celebrate with my dad. They had a lot of fun. They went like snorkeling and shit, like. But So we were just home alone, right?
No, that's cool.
Yeah, snorkeling. Like,
Snorkeling.
Black people like this is like
Snorkeling.
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying snorkeling's cool. I've never snorkeled, so I'm just like, whoa, that's cool. That's a dope experience. Once I learn how to swim, I'll do it.
That was just swimming.
Anyway, so like we were at home, all 6 of us, and they gave us like some money to like do stuff. Because of the snow, we ended up not doing a lot, just because like it was a lot of snow that one day, and then or for like 2 days. So like we went out to the mall. We went to go eat some places. We really wanted to go to what is it?
Nigga, spit it out.
No, you saw Megan was there. Like Megan and
Megan.
The stuff
Yeah.
was at Diablo.
Yeah. You didn't know, bro. People were posting that, bro.
Like
Came
Said
through.
Megan.
Megan who?
Megan.
I'm sick.
But yeah,
I'm sick.
Brian, they were there, bro.
They were there.
There's a couple good Megans. Megan Good? Okay, bro, we're gonna...
Name
Megan
three
Good is
Megans.
beautiful. Okay, but we're gonna... Go ahead.
Megan
So yeah,
Fox,
I mean,
Megan the
most of the time we were just
Stallion,
chilling at home.
Megan
I got to a
Markle.
few personal projects of mine, like writing
Yes,
down
sir.
some stories,
Yes, sir.
doing a little Adobe Photoshop, like learning a little bit. But yeah, it was a good time.
Very chill.
Yeah, I still got some homework to do though.
Yeah, that part.
Why did
So
you
I
put
got
a sign on
gentrification.
I
Like
don't
literally
know.
over spring break.
Like it's spring break.
Right.
You're catching up on grading, but that doesn't mean I need to do homework. It's break.
In fact, it would help you to catch up on grading while I don't do homework.
Exactly. That would help.
Common
a
sense,
lot.
right?
I
People
agree.
don't got it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You just be tripping.
So what y'all do?
Cried.
What y'all end up doing?
I cried on spring break.
It was a spring break full of different emotions.
For real.
I don't think it was all bad, though. I don't think any of it was bad. You know what I mean? I think... So, we went on a civil rights trip. We went to Atlanta. And we went to Alabama.
Birmingham
Yeah.
And
So,
Montgomery and Selma.
and,
It was intense, bro.
very...
Speak on it.
Well, I was just saying, it was good.
It's just like
Yeah, what did
heavy.
they say?
Like we really don't learn things about our history as people, as Black people, and then like everything. I'm 21, and I grew up.
Damn, you 20.
I'm 21, and I grew up in Aurora, which is pretty. I mean, everywhere in the United States is basically white, but there are parts of places that are like very mixed communities, and so I grew up with a lot of people who were biracial. And then I went to school in Denver, and Denver is like depending on the school. But now we're at a PWI, which is a predominantly white institution, and it's just white. Like Black students, we actually looked this up this weekend. Black students make up like 2% of the population. There's 36,000 people on our campus who are either students or employees. Somewhere it's like 36,000 plus. Like it's somewhere around that. And the lack of education that we have on like Black history is insane.
Not even just Black history.
Just history in general. Like there's so much left out, and like I'm 21 and half of the stuff we learned this week.
I could it's years,
Brand
bro, of
new.
information, bro.
Years that you should have learned piled into 1 week, and that's the bare minimum. Like we could have stayed at some of these places for a whole day, and we only spent like 2 to 3 hours at a lot of these places.
Let's
It
talk
was
about
just
the
intense.
Legacy Museum.
I love the Legacy
The
Museum.
Legacy
You want to
Museum.
talk about it? You talk about it. It was good.
Okay. Okay. That was the EJI one.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I like how it started. So like it starts. You talk about like swimming and stuff, and we talk about like generational trauma a lot, and like a lot of Black people don't know how to swim, or they don't like getting their hair wet, or like there's a lot of things about water just in general. And this.
Y'all learned this at sorry.
No, but this is just like.
She was just correlating with
Yeah,
what I said about swimming.
just to make connections of like generational trauma. Like there is a thing about water in the Black community, and at the Legacy Museum, it starts off, you're like in the ocean. It's a huge screen in front of you, and it's water, and it's loud, and it's talking about the largest graveyard in the world is the Atlantic Ocean.
Then as soon as we leave that, the next thing is the bottom of the ocean. And it had, I'll show you a picture later. Basically a dude, I forget where he was from. But he carved and like made a bunch of basically sculptures of our ancestors. And
all the ones that died.
And they had like, some of them had like the chains on them. I don't know, it was just like, and there was all different types of African people.
Tribes and
African
cultures.
tribes.
The hair, the markings, like everything was different.
And it's told so many stories because it's like they forced us to be together. They forced us to be together, and like, you know what I mean, like they forced us to be one when it shouldn't have been like that. You know what I mean? It was like, I don't know, it was a lot of crazy stuff, man.
Yeah,
that sounds crazy.
But it takes you through like everything. Ooh, yeah, that's a good photo. It takes you through everything. It takes, except for like before the slave trade.
It's fast. Like, our producer fast. Oh, shit. Yeah, that was quick.
No, but it talks about, so it starts with the Atlantic slave trade, even though our history starts long before that. But then it takes you through the pens that you would wait in to be sold off. It would talk about like the stories of families being ripped apart, and we talk about like nuclear families and how so many Black fathers are missing in their Black children's lives and things like that. Like everything connects. And then you get to the lynchings and the terror era and why the KKK is a terror cell that still exists today. And like it connects everything, the history of police, the history of slave catchers. Then it talks about like how to memorialize it and take care of people and give honor to those who aren't recognized beyond MLK and Rosa Parks and all this other stuff. And then it ends with the prison industrial complex and like how that has come to fruition today. And then you go through like a gallery of artwork that kind of talks about the whole museum, but it's just really intense. And it does a lot of like serious education that I know talking to half of the people that we work with like wouldn't understand. It's really intense. Yeah.
That sounds intense.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of different simulations there too. Like there was one where it was like a kind of like a cell, and we could talk to like, so like I was talking to like a former slave, not former slave, a former enslaved person.
Oh wait, like actually?
Yeah.
Actually, like you walk
Like
up to
actor.
the cell and they talk to
Oh,
you.
I was like,
No, not actually. I said simulation, bro.
I was like, that's why I chuckled at first. I was like, and then you said no, former enslaved. I said, wait. Yeah.
But these are real stories that they're
The
just
actor
reenacting.
Yeah.
It's real.
And
And you
yeah,
get
I
to
feel
talk
like
to
it's
like
real.
an inmate and hear their story and all that, and watch videos on like how things affect you. And
I think essentially the trip kind of just made, I think what a lot of us were saying, because there was 13 of us that went on the trip, and like I think all of us were saying like it just made us think like, bro, like we're not, I'm not saying that we're not doing enough, but essentially like we're not doing enough, and we have those tools, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna go into it, but we have the tools, you know what I mean, to make change. You know what I mean? And our generation sits on a lot of things. And yeah.
And it's up to us.
It's up to us.
We talk about like the Children's March, which isn't something that's like a focus growing up, and like how children were really at the center of activism. And that brings me back to our conversation. We were here for context. We were here doing a couple promo things, and 4 of us drove back to Fort Collins, and we were talking about like what it means to be an activist and like talk about because we had MLK and Rosa Parks, and they were turned into martyrs, and so people could really get behind these people versus George Floyd isn't really someone who was active in the community as like this pillar. He wasn't a pillar of the community. He was just someone who was victimized by police brutality. So like what does it take to actually have an effective movement like MLK and Rosa Parks and all of that? And so that reminded me of our conversation because we don't really have that, but it really is like, how old are y'all? How old are you guys?
Oh, you mean how old? Oh, I thought you were metaphorically.
No, like how old are y'all?
Rhetorically, how old?
No, like,
how old are y'all? Y'all should grow up. Do something.
Oh no, I get what you're getting at. I'm 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying like we're the age of the people.
Not even like younger. Like Ruby Bridges was 9.
Yeah.
Like like
Lil Rock 9.
we're in our 19s, 20s. We're all 20 up, right?
I'm 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
So we're all in our 20s.
I'm 19, but that's okay.
Oh, he's 12.
Grow up. No, I'm just
Get off the set, bro.
But yeah, like this is around like our age is the age of
Yeah.
like how Black Panthers were back in the civil rights. Like they were like activists back then were young, and I'd say like activists are still young. Like there's still like a bunch of examples of activists today who are like very young.
Yeah,
Bro,
for sure.
Another thing that I noticed, right? You know how they try to point, like they focus on Martin Luther King so much. They focus on Rosa Parks so much. You know, like these specific leaders.
Figures.
You know what I'm saying? These, and one thing that I noticed is they do that purposely. You know what I mean? They do that, and
Who's that?
they.
The system.
The system. I'm just like, who is that?
But for
You're
real
right, though.
though,
You're right,
for
you're
real
right.
though, like the FBI
Mm-hmm.
targeted all of the leaders except for Rosa Parks. Well, because she was part of the
And
NAACP.
Reaganomics.
So.
But my thing is, they do that to.
Administration did a lot.
I keep saying they, but
No, it's right to say they.
Yeah,
It
it is a they.
system
It's
is
kind
a
of
they.
like,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's more than, it's a collective. It's
Yeah.
a collective amount of people.
and I
trying
feel
to-
like and it was never really like that. You know what I mean? And I feel like for us to be, for our generation, we should go into it with the mindset of having everyone educated. We shouldn't have one person on the forefront. You know what I mean? Like we shouldn't give them one person to target. If y'all gonna target somebody, it has to be all of us because we're all well educated, we're around it. You know what I'm
Because then
saying?
they take them out, and then it's like, oh, we don't have a leader anymore. Who are we
Right.
gonna follow?
You know what I'm
But
saying?
that brings me
Essentially.
back to your question of like, would you be willing to die for the cause? Because so many of these people were putting their lives at risk. Like 3-year-olds were being murdered and killed,
Yeah.
and they weren't even like a part of the cause. They were just Black. So like, we're young. We're that age of activism. Are we willing to die for the cause?
I was gonna say like after, cause like your answer, or it seemed like our answer in the car was kind of like yeah, but no. Like this is the same conversation that we had in the car back in the day or whatever. Like we were saying like, cause Martin Luther King was like ready to die for the cause, and Malcolm X, I was about to call him MX. Malcolm X was ready to die for the cause, right? So it's like someone asked that in our car or whatever, and we all just kind of said yeah, but like it wasn't like a yeah. You
I
feel
think
me?
it wasn't
so
a
it's
strong
like
yeah.
after y'all after we've had like time to think about it or whatever, and after y'all been on that trip, let's say there was one, do y'all consider yourselves activists, and 2, what cause are y'all willing to die for?
I think we're all. I ain't gonna say that. I think we don't get to choose to be activists. You know what I mean? I think our skin color, like you know what I'm saying, like we walk outside and without speaking to anyone, like our presence says a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't think. I think I've been an activist. You know what I mean? I don't think everybody might call themselves an activist, but I think we're all activists though.
Yeah.
I think, like, I agree. Like, you know, our skin color can make us activists. I think that comparatively, like, to old, like, to, like, the activists that we look up to, I don't think any, like, common person can call themselves an activist. So, like, a lot, like, and it's because, like, we're in a new age. Like, we're all, like, social media activists, like, more so than like, you know, like actual, like we're going out there, we're going to lawmakers and we're trying to get things done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not like, we're protesting, but like that only can go so far. Mm-hmm. And like back to your question about like if I would be like ready to die for an activist cause, I don't think most people are today, because I feel like we see ourselves as like the next generation of people who've already done that for us. And so like we don't like see as much motivation, and also like we're kind of like we're in a state where people are like, well, we're comfortable, we don't need to like actually die for a cause. Even if you look at like say like the insurrection and like last year, like a lot of them would consider themselves activists. None of them were trying to really die for it. Like they were, like a lot of them wanted to see, you know, like what they actually, or they wanted to see the results of what happened. Like most of us, I feel that way, that like we want to see what we're actually fighting for.
Reap the fruits of our labor.
Yeah, but realistically, that's the scary part, because that's what we brought up in the car too. Because we said that I'd be down to die for it if I'd be down to die. Let me take it back. I'd be down to be that staple if I'm going to see immediate results. You feel me? And that's the scary part of it. Like
you're being honest right now. Keep going.
Yeah, if I like immediate results is what I want to see from what I'm doing. I don't want to like the whole idea of MLK actually going to these conferences, talking to people, and like so much backlash being there, so much like pullback from his own people, but also from the outside, of course. It's just like such a heart-wrenching, like disheartening thing. Like there was so much discouragement when you watch just kind of little spiel off, but when you watch Judas and the Black Messiah, I was thinking like when Fred Hampton was in those spaces, there was one moment when he was talking to people being like, are you following me, are you with me? And somebody stood up and left, and a few other people left as well, as in they were not with him, and they did not agree with him whatsoever. And I'm just thinking, if I see that within my people, the same people that I'm thinking quote unquote trying to free, I'm just like, what am I doing this for? You was not seeing the same vision I am, therefore you're not on the same page I am.
You got something to say.
And it's just like,
where's that button?
No, but I feel you, gang.
It's just like you have to be a different type of person that wants to see the benefit of people, not for yourself, and maybe call me selfish or whatever, but to see the benefits of everyone else willing to die for that.
Are you willing to sacrifice yourself for others who wouldn't be willing
able to do that for you type shit? And I'm just like, that's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. That's a lot.
That's
honesty, ain't ready for
bro.
that yet.
That's honesty.
What you want to say?
Man, like you were saying that, and honestly, like I had this conversation with one of my friends a while back, and I was just saying like how our mindset is. So I don't think you're wrong for thinking like that, but I think I want you to understand that there are people that you ever heard of Fred Shuttlesworth?
No.
So Fred Shuttlesworth was a priest. Correct me if I'm wrong. Stop me if I'm wrong. Okay, he was a pastor. Essentially, when he wanted to get up and start making a change and doing things in his community, like the first couple weeks, you know what I mean, like no one showed up. Months,
no
couple weeks, you know what I'm saying? No one supported him. You know what I mean?
He stood alone for his community.
And that's why I say I feel like I understand where you're coming from, because it's like, why should I? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why should I? You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing is changing. That's how we feel.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's hard. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like, I guess you're right. Like, it depends on what type of person you are and like how far you want to go with it. But certain people, I feel like that's what separates certain like leaders.
For sure it does.
People that are resistant.
For sure it does. That's a different type of heart.
And I feel like our generation, like we're so solely based on instant gratification. You know what I mean? We're not very patient with a lot of things, and we're not gonna get anywhere without being patient. You know what I mean? Nothing is gonna happen overnight. Nothing. I sound like a preacher. I hate that. Right?
Nah, bro, you're right though. So I was like talking to our friend of the podcast, Adrian, the other day.
So shout out Adrian.
So like we were talking about the issue with like black presence at CSU, right? So, and I was just talking to him about how like now Like, I was like, damn, I wish we were here a few years ago when that shit was popping.
Yeah.
And, like, he was like, yeah, you know, like, it comes and goes. Like, it just really depends. And so I was like, but we were talking about how we, like, our class, like, is making it a little better now. Like, because we're trying to, you know, like, unify us again. And I was just thinking, we're probably not going to see the benefits. Yeah, like, by the time that we graduate. And he was like, no, you're definitely not. But what you're doing now is what's going to, like, benefit the future.
We have to plant seeds.
We're so worried about
But the
reaping
thing
the
is-
harvest that we never even try to plant the seed.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And we do the same thing in life all the time. We do the same thing, second guess ourselves into, you know what I'm saying?
That's real.
Just because we think we might fail.
Oh, that's real.
We fail so much, why not? You know what I'm saying?
For real. Fail up.
Fail
No,
upwards.
like, for real, like, fail up. Like, at least you're trying. You're gonna...
Yeah, see this failure as a lesson.
You're gonna miss 100% of the shots you don't shoot. So, like, shoot and maybe you'll make it.
J. Cole said.
Oh.
What did J.
J. Cole said, what
Don't
was
say
it?
it
In
for
Role
Jesus.
Models, not word for word, but he said if you don't shoot for like the stars or shoot for at least the highest point, right? Then like what are you shooting for? Like what are you here for? Like what's your
For
purpose?
real. Yeah.
Like even if you fail, you're gonna like what do they say? If you shoot what is it? Shoot for like sun, moon, something like you're still hanging around the stars or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, something like that, which is real.
Yeah.
All them people that went for those like that didn't necessarily get recognition. They're still prominent, like very important people. We don't give them enough recognition, but they're still like prominent important people.
We got comments on YouTube.
Yeah, I didn't know a good time to bring
Yeah,
this up.
we got told by our producer that we should read out comments on YouTube. It's our first time. I was gonna wait until like the conversation died down. This is gonna be the last 10 minutes of what we're doing. We're gonna do it now. So, some of the comments that we got are the most recent one is that y'all courage as young adults is inspiring.
Who said that?
Said what up, what up, what up?
Who said that? Who said that?
Said what up,
That's
what up?
Dwayne.
them
man.
names.
That sounds like
Say them
Dwayne.
Their name is
It's what up, what up, what up? Yeah, so
Shout
I
out to
just say that.
What up with you?
Shout out to what up, what up.
Wow.
So yeah.
Ooh, I like some of these questions.
I was gonna read them out.
Ask some of the questions.
I got you,
Yeah.
So some of the comments right quick were just like, y'all courage as young adults is inspiring. Keep it up, and that they tuned in.
Thank you.
Great conversation. Just talking about we have good points and that, and me not you said the brown color spectrum. So that was just something else I know we talked about earlier. But some of the questions that we got. One of the should we start with the more like relevant ones or the relevant to what we were just talking about or
Maybe ask.
backtrack?
I think there might be. I don't know if that one's goofy, but maybe a break.
I bet then we'll go back in conversation.
Oh yeah, because that goes way back to.
Yeah.
I bet. So
Okay.
one of the earlier comments that we got was from Don John Poupon.
Don Juan, my boy.
Don Juan Poupon.
I'm just glad I didn't even see it.
He's right though.
I just saw right
He said he's right
That's
though.
embarrassing. Why did we get the?
Why am I
is he
reading the comments?
You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
You're dope.
Are we going back to? So this
Still
goes back
done.
to your.
Yeah, let's go back to so this goes back to what you were saying, right?
About
So-
your break.
About your spring break,
About your
yeah.
break,
So if your girl or boyfriend, if your partner, right, ever hits you, if they hit you one time, is that the end of the relationship or is there building up from there? That's from Don Juan.
Do I give it like a serious answer or a goofy answer?
Nah, just give like your honest answer.
Is there a goofy answer?
There is a goofy. It's really bad because that's
No,
the
just-
first thing I thought of.
Say your honest.
What's the first thing you
The first
thought
thing you thought
of?
of is
Yeah.
honestly what you feel.
Now we gotta know.
Say-
No, okay.
Finna
I
get
thought if somebody hit me,
canceled.
yeah, no cap. I'm not gonna say that.
No,
But-
say it. No,
No,
please.
so if like my partner actually hit me one time, you know what? I actually absolve it. It depends on where and how hard they hit it. It depends on why they're hitting me. You know the good
With
little
malice
Anger,
intent.
yeah, with
Like,
malice
with
intent, yeah.
malintent.
Like say it's an
Valentine.
Yeah, they say.
offensive
Valentine.
hate.
boom. Oh,
Like
it's
it's-
over.
Even if it didn't hurt.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Malintent.
I grew up in the South.
Oh, no.
I don't even think this mattered, bro. I just personally, I cannot put my hands on a woman.
Well, of course you're not gonna hit her
Yeah.
back.
But what
Like,
if a
the
woman
whole-
puts her hands
oh,
on you?
yeah,
That's what
when
I'm
she puts
saying.
her hands on
So
you,
let's
What
say,
if she
yeah.
puts her hands
are
on
you
you?
done, so?
Is it that?
Is it done? It's done.
Let's
You know
say
what I mean?
it's like
It's like if you
What if you have kids?
if you put your hands on
I'm having
me,
kids with the person that would hit me.
I don't know.
Signs
No,
will
but
come out.
what
I
if
don't
y'all
think
have
like
kids?
her putting her hands on me is done. But like if you maliciously like use a weapon or like
It's still malintent.
Yeah, it's just like,
regardless. It's
yeah,
Or if she
harm
just
you.
like, but look, because it's like,
No, there's no
hear
category.
me
Because
out.
if you do it once,
Watch
it's
this.
like it can happen again.
Watch this.
It could be
Because
Let's
worse.
say it's like a hit in the
Because women,
face.
like-
because there's like a little, you know.
Yeah, but like women don't be like typically right. Like sometimes they be going like full swing. Correct me if I'm
Let
wrong,
us know.
but they be like
Come
well,
on,
like,
I ain't never pushed nobody to that
I'm
level.
like,
From your experience.
from how many times you abuse your boyfriend? Like, say-
Thanks for that.
but nah, I'm
Thank
just
you.
too far. Say, my bad. Oops.
She said, "How do you know?"
Who
but
told you?
but like they just be like kind of like slapping them. They don't be like it's never like a full fledged.
No, like
I rarely
smacking,
ever see.
Shorty that
smacking
hit?
you across the face.
Yeah, but is it still like?
Oh,
is
you
it
were
still
talking
dead?
to who?
It could
Is
even
it
be
still
that. Why
dead?
did you do that? It could be really for something
Yeah.
simple. That's
I
still,
told you to
Is
take
it
out
still
the
dead?
trash.
Like
yeah,
regardless.
because that's disrespectful. Think of it vice versa. You're not finna do that
Oh,
to
it's
somebody
over with
that
if
you.
it's vice versa.
You feel
If
me?
it's vice-
Like
yeah.
if you do it as a man with man strength, or just
I mean,
morals in
yeah.
general, right?
I wouldn't do it.
With morals in general, right? And you look at your shorty, she just does something. Let's say she goes, I don't know, don't be. It's just something that you don't like. I don't know how severe it has to be, but you'd be like, or you'd be like, that's dunzo. What? That's a case right there. If somebody does that to me back, it's done. You don't respect me. What's wrong with
That's
you? You
some
don't
BS.
respect me.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
done.
that's done. Like, don't do that.
So
Like,
it's dead.
why?
There's no situation.
Dead.
I don't know, man.
I want to know,
Cause
like,
like-
if you have kids
Ooh.
and they've never hit you before, but you have kids,
You have to retry.
and you
after
get
that.
to the point
You have to retry.
where, like, y'all are
What?
both done, and
As
she
in, like,
swings
what?
first, and y'all
Oh, you're
have
saying
kids,
like if you're like okay.
like they've never hit you before, but because you have kids, because you're stressed, you might be losing your house, whatever. Like,
That's extreme. Wow. Yeah.
there is a reason that it gets to the point where she hits you. And you have kids, you have a whole family, you have a whole life to think about. It's not just, oh, my boyfriend hit me, so we're done. There's other people involved.
So I think the contact matters too.
Yeah.
If you're so let's say because you said if she does it right, puts it in the same situation, you have kids, all that shit. Homeboy stressed out, strikes you, my nigga hits you.
It's
You
over.
staying?
Nope.
Well then, look there.
I think me personally, cause like yeah, vice
I'd be
versa, like it's done. It should be done either way. But I think in my case, like it really depends on why. Like if I was like really on some
contact.
like if I was really just tripping.
Because imagine if you
And, like,
violated and then she, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, and then yeah, like it really depends on that. But
No.
like, cause
It'll happen again.
Because like if it's more than just you involved, I think that you should at least try to do something to like fix this, right? And
no,
like,
because then he could hit my kids. No.
well, yeah, I mean, but yeah, if it seems like nothing's happening, like nothing's going up from there, then like it's done.
If it's a man,
I think it depends on how bad the hit hurt.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't
Cause
know.
like,
I think it's just the
it's like,
principle of it.
Cause this is like,
I don't think
but if she
men
just like
should
hits me with a
around
little
here.
What if they shove you
Like-
and they don't mean to like shove you hard, but they shove you hard and you're flying through windows?
That's different.
You know
That's
what
a
I
shove.
mean?
We talking about.
Get home.
Y'all underestimate me all the
Bro,
time.
she shoved
No,
me.
y'all underestimate me all
If
the
you shove me,
time.
I hit the oop. Like, now you gotta go anyway, bro. Fuck. I gotta go hit the
Because
gym.
then it's
That's
after
that weight room.
Yeah, weight room.
to the point where like you're not even talking. Like communication is so important in any relationship, whether it's a friendship, romantic, familial. Like if you've gotten to the point where you can't even talk to me and you have to take it out physically, you should never. It's never okay to take out your frustrations physically on another human being. Ever.
Point blank.
And if you allow it the first time,
It's gonna happen again.
no matter how hard it hurt, especially if there's other people involved, it will happen again because it means they got to that point, period. And that means they'll get to that point again. Like, life is never going to be perfect. Life is never going to be easy breezy, ever, for, like, normal people. So that means you were bottling things in. We weren't communicating. Stuff is going on that I don't even know about. But then you see me, someone who you love, and you think it's okay to take that out on me physically. That's never okay.
It isn't. Well,
I don't comment,
we'll
that's
just did it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I said, I can't read either.
Uh-oh.
What up?
Yeah, that's what up.
What up? She speaks so sensible. That's a great alliteration. Thank you.
But yeah, it sounds like we all saying no to that. Like, yeah, if
It's
someone
easier
strikes
said
you,
than
it's dead.
done, too.
It is
I
easier
agree,
said
yeah.
than done. Way
Yeah.
easier said, especially if it's someone that you really mess with heavy. Like you said, you have kids with this person. You just be like, I mean, I guess I can. That's the first thing you're gonna think about. You be like, I didn't like that, but I mean, I guess I can put it to the side. Like that's
and there's
extreme.
other things too, probably leading up to that you're letting slide, that are like signs that shit will happen.
Yeah.
That you let go because you love them. Love is blind. That's real.
So we'll save it for me.
Oh, facts.
We'll save it for
Okay,
next
what's
episode.
the
Alright,
next one?
word.
What's the next one?
So we got like 2 more. Alright, so we'll end off on that one. So second one is from Dirtbag Denver. Did the black culture of Atlanta impact you in any way? So how did the black culture of Atlanta impact you?
Most definitely. I think driving was OD.
And from the South, was it different than your experience like in Texas?
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's a good question. That's a great question. I'm gonna throw this out there, then I'm gonna answer your question. Something that I noticed and I was happy about. I don't know if y'all noticed this too. With us being in Fort Collins, bro, if we go anywhere outside of CSU, even at CSU, bro, like, of course, the white people aren't talking to us, but like, even most of the time, black people aren't talking to us. When we was in Atlanta, bro, I've never seen, like, I don't know, I haven't been around that many black people that just randomly came up to me, chopping it up with me, bro. You feel me? And it
It's
just felt
almost
so good, bro.
disrespectful to not say
You feel what I'm
anything.
saying? It's disrespectful. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing I saw. But from Atlanta to Houston, I think there's not too many big differences. I don't think I spent enough time out there to really answer that question, bro.
It wasn't like
That's
a
cool,
social
that's
thing.
Yeah, because I didn't really get to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so,
I only spent 2 days.
I mean, if we go to Atlanta,
When you in one of those
Straight
majority
water
black
Atlanta,
cities,
baby.
like when you in one of those
Get back
majority
to
black
that.
cities, like say you're in,
It's
like,
culture.
yeah, it's just culture. Like when you're in
It's
St.
it's the
Louis,
same. Yeah, that's what I said. I just got that
somewhere in
same
Memphis.
vibe for real.
Yeah.
I got that same vibe. It just felt good, man.
Yeah. The
Culturally.
food, the clothes.
Mhm.
I never seen so many people with like braids. Like even in Fort Collins, all the black girls got straight hair, or they got the loose
Call 'em out.
combs, or like the relaxer. And I don't even wear braids that often, but like everyone either was wearing braids or a wig, and it was normal. And here, like that's not.
I mean, but that has its own reasons too. But I mean, yeah, I think like it's a different experience everywhere. Like when you're around like black culture, it's something Colorado could never do, bro. Like, and I feel bad for y'all that are being in Colorado your whole life.
Nah, I didn't-
gonna lie, bro.
Niggas from the
Hey, if y'all win it though, we can do that.
Explain them to the people.
Go to
Where you
Atlanta.
from?
You said what?
I said if y'all win it, we could really go to Atlanta for real.
For real,
I'm
we
with it.
should. Yeah, it's
When?
just different.
We can go whenever. Over the summer, we can plan it. And we'll go.
Hey,
So look out for the Atlanta episode. We're gonna do that
Both.
shit
Why not
too.
both?
Both. Yeah,
Shoot,
both.
why not both? We can make it a whole little
And
trip
Africa,
type shit. Come
might
on.
as well just go to Africa.
Hey, come on. I got the plug for you. I got the plug for you. Yeah, y'all come through. Come on.
Nah, for real
I got
though.
a mention already made. You feel?
That's
what they always say.
Bro,
They
the
feel like
houses
Until you hit them up.
are insane.
The houses there because it's cheap.
Yeah, no. You know what's crazy?
Or cheaper. I won't say cheap.
Big,
Cheaper.
Were you awake when we passed the plantation house? It was insane. Like, okay, so we were driving from Selma to Montgomery. No, we were driving from
The
Birmingham to
plantation?
Selma.
Oh, big.
And we're passing these houses, and it's like miles between houses. And they're really nice houses.
yeah.
But then there's this one
White
house
House.
that's up this giant hill, and it's clearly a plantation house. And literally, like you know where your mailbox is at the end of your street, and you know where your neighbor's mailbox is at the end of their street.
Mm-hmm.
At your neighbor's mailbox, there is like a shed, slave house, something. It's in tatters. It is not well kept. I don't know who lives there, if anyone can live there, but it's still standing. And like you're looking, it's not even like gentrification, as in like this is the line. Like in Colorado, we have a lot of redlining and like clear, distinct. This is where the rich people are, and this is where the poor people are. We're driving past these houses, and it's miles of land. You have mobile homes, literally in between two plantation houses. You have old slave quarters in between the backyards. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's not a black and white, oh, this is here and this is here. It's
this
like
was in Bama?
mixed.
And honestly, I felt like I see more of that, honestly, but it kind of seemed like I got the vibe that they tried to, well, they are. They tried to erase that history.
But they still take them to plantations for field trips. It's crazy.
Wow.
You never
Johnny
been
Doe.
I never been to one.
Johnny Doe brought up a good point. He said, "Don't plantation houses remind you of the White House?" Or do plantation
Kind
houses
of.
remind you
Not.
of the White House?
I don't think the White
wow.
House, but like
Whoa.
senators' houses, because they have like the flat top and the columns in the front, and then like the wings.
American
Whereas
architecture
all
is
the
just so
capitals
basic.
are-
I'll be looking at our
That's
capital.
Oh, no. All capitals look the same. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, all our
They
capital,
do.
like capitals in America, are so basic. When you're looking at capitals from other countries, when they're like so like vibrant, so like detailed. Huh?
I don't know.
Look at other countries, like other capitals. Like it's just
Not what?
It's
No,
copy
yeah, they got
stuff.
more
You
I'm
say
saying
U.S.,
right
you say
now.
systematic.
Are you serious?
yeah,
Everything about
it's so
the
like
US is
vanilla
systematic.
architecture.
And it is painted in white.
Yeah.
Except the churches. The churches. We got to a corner, and there were four. It was like McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Wendy's. It was church, and they all look different.
I mean, in the South, you gonna find like.
And it ain't
50
nowhere for
churches
you to
a
park
block.
at too. It's like it's
There's
neighborhood.
nowhere to park.
No, for real.
You
Like
just
it's
walk.
neighborhood churches. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You walk in the church.
You walk in church. In that humidity. Good luck. It's crazy.
Dang, that's such a good
What time
experience.
So we got about 5 minutes left. So ended with this one. I don't know if any of y'all have like a take on this one. We all kind of grew up pretty much the same, no cap. But something that Dirtbag Denver commented earlier is it tougher to be a kid in the street life or a kid in high school / college life?
Street life, because if you're in college, I feel like you're much more safe. Like at least if you're on campus, then you're much more safe than you are in like street life when you're a kid, and you have to like say in your situation, you have to take the bus, you have to walk home. Like I feel like you're much more safe like on a college campus, and obviously college campuses have their dangers and like there are sketchy people. There's still locals that walk in and like sneak in. Like we get so many emails about like peeping toms and like, but I feel like you're much more safe like on campus than in street life when you're a kid.
You're just exposed to the real world soon.
Yeah, I feel like we're safe.
You disagree?
But I don't know, man. I feel like I'm
Disagree?
not at peace.
I think in certain situations, yes, because as a woman, if you're growing up on the street and you know who your pedophiles are, you can stay away from them. Pedophiles hide as teachers on college campuses. Men hide behind alcohol and their family's money and all these other, like, it depends on what the dangers are. Like, as a woman walking in the street, as a woman walking on campus, I feel the same. Like, when I was living in Aggie Village and I would have to walk across to Aggie Family to get my car, I'm a white person, or I'm a black person.
No, claim it. Come on. Say it, be
Let
proud.
me take it off. No, I'm a black person on a white campus. That made me feel more unsafe than a black person in Aurora, because I see black people more. Like, I didn't feel like I stood out like a sore thumb on campus.
Maybe
versus-
Colorado
Yeah, it
street
depends
life
on
isn't.
where
Yeah.
like the street life is.
Because I'm thinking like you can't just say that to any willy-nilly street life. 'Cause
No,
Colorado
yeah,
street life
true.
is different from
I didn't go
somewhere
to-
down
I was
south,
homeschooled,
or
so
even East Coast in general. West Coast is completely different things.
I think
Even Nebraska was kind of rough, like walking on the
that's a
streets.
great question, though.
We got our ghetto.
I think something that I always notice is like, I don't know.
Nebraska.
I be like a lot more.
Nebraska.
A lot more what? A lot more safe. Or
I feel like I feel like I'm safe, but at the same time,
Where?
here I feel like I'm definitely more safe here. But at the same time, there's a sense of I'm uncomfortable sometimes type shit. Well, he didn't ask that though. But
we can get into that on the next episode. We kind of out of time.
Thank you for the questions and the
Yeah,
comments.
for real.
Shout out the
Yeah.
comments.
We didn't
shout out
expect
the
anything
viewers.
on our first episode, so the fact that y'all are here is great. If you would like more from us, we'll be posting next week, next Saturday.
Yes, sir.
And you can find us on social media at the Straight Water Podcast.
Yes.
And under our network, quit playing.
Yes.
Shout out sponsors
Thank
to
you.
Power
Thank
of One
you.
and to Udia.
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And thank you to the R Network for hosting this, for being our network. Oh yeah, shit. Like, thank you for having us. Quit playing.
Not just for the people.
We are the people. Hey.
Hey, cut.